Hello and welcome to a new video by Day Night Gaming. In this video, we'll be covering the Lost Ark April and May roadmap. Now, before we begin, I must preface that I am very happy that Smilegate RPG and Amazon Game Studios are finally giving us a roadmap. A lot of players have been wondering what is in store for the future of Lost Ark, and the reason for that is because players who started at the beginning on launch played for about a month and then were blindsided by the introduction of the Argos raid, which came out and required an item level of 1370, and a lot of players were not at the gear score strong enough to take on this fight upon release, and a lot of those players felt that they needed to spend money in order to progress their gear score strong enough in order to take on this new challenge. So a little bit of communication could have gone a long way if they had a roadmap that told players what to expect and how strong to be by a certain date. And this would give players who really want to always be at the cutting edge of content releases a goal to work towards. But when Lost Ark launched in NA and EU regions, there wasn't a roadmap which showed the cadence of updates that will be coming in the future. So a lot of players just played at their own speed, and then one day out of the blue, the Argos patch came out and introduced Argus raid, and all of a sudden players saw this huge cliff, huge wall, where they said, oh my gosh, I need to get to 1370 in order to do this raid. And this one action really solidified the pay to win aspect in a lot of players' minds, because for a lot of players, reaching 1370 was very improbable without spending money. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't impossible, but at the speed that they were playing at, because they didn't know that Argos raid was coming out that quickly, there was probably only like 1 or 2% of the player base who were at 1370 or higher and ready to take on Argos. And this created a lot of aggravated and disgruntled players. So it's nice that here we are in April and Lost Ark has provided us with an April and May roadmap. So this is a lot of transparency that a lot of the player base was asking for, and it's great to see that Smilegate RPG and Amazon Game Studios are finally giving us a viewable path for what's in store for us in the future. So let's go over this article. So this was posted by Rox and is an official news posting on the Lost Ark forum. So we're going to go through it. In March, Smilegate RPG flew to the Seattle studio to meet with Amazon Game Studio and take a look at the content roadmap, improve operations and tools, and continue collaboration on all things related to the Western release of Lost Ark. They're going to keep the near future focused on horizontal content and giving players clear paths for progression without feeling like they need to pay. Once again, this is very important because when the Argos patch came out, a lot of players did feel pressured to spend money in order to progress their character. They want to give more players time to reach the end game before introducing Legion raids, which in their opinion is the definitive Lost Ark raiding experience, and ensure players are able to explore Arkesia and progress at their own pace without feeling pressured to race toward endgame content. Their March 24 update included new materials to help with honing chances that can be earned in 2 events, which was the Guardian Raid event and the Arkesia Grand Prix. Once again, those 2 events were great. They're very fun and they are great ways to help players quickly upgrade their gear score regardless of which tier they are in. So tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3, any of those players can participate in these 2 events. That's really great. And these events were more ways for players to earn weekly honing materials, and they also gave us honing materials as gifts to all those players who logged in. So according to this roadmap, April will continue that trend, providing more horizontal content for players to enjoy as they learn the systems of Lost Ark and continue to progress. All right, that's great. It's great news. So here we are. In April, they're going to introduce a new martial artist advanced class known as the Glaver, which I believe is called Lance Master in the other regions. I don't actually know. I've only played on the NA servers, so I don't know the names of any of the other classes. But a lot of players I heard have been eagerly awaiting this class, so it's great that they're gonna introduce this class. Now, very importantly, they're gonna be introducing a new continent, and that's called South Vern. And here they're telling us that in order to do South Vern, players will need to have completed Punica and also have an item level of 1340. So this information is very important. This is a transparency we need. They're telling us the requirements that we need in order to do this new content. Basically, they're saying you need to complete Punica and get to item level 1340. Great. This is a goal for every player to work towards, so they won't be blindsided when this update comes out. Another nice thing that they're going to be doing is they're going to be adding in new in-game events, skins, and store updates. And they're also going to be adding something called the Phaeton Power Pass, which will provide item level 960 gear as well as a story skip leading up into Phaeton. So it's very much like the Vern Power Pass that we already have, but instead of taking us to Vern, it takes us to Phaeton and gives you a full suit of gear for that character, which will be 960 gear score. That's great. That's getting people into the action much quicker. It looks like they're also going to be doing some quality of life improvements, like improved co-op party play for secret maps, chat tab settings are shared across a player roster, and improved book of coordination settings. So you can use skill presets, tripod level, skill runes, gems, and item set effects, etc. That's great. All those things are very important, and it's good that they're working on quality of life because there are a lot of things in Lost Ark that could definitely be improved. And that's it for April, and now we're going to move on to May. So here they promise to be honest, sometimes brutally so, and now is one of those times. While they can say that they firmly plan on releasing the Destroyer Advanced class, Trial Guardian raids, and quality of life adjustments in May, when it comes to Volton's Legion raid and Descualda, they will move it if they feel these activities would create pressure within the community. Eventually, endgame content will be introduced, but players should feel comfortable to continue progressing at their own pace. Their data has suggested that a big enough portion of the active player base will reach or be close to reaching the item levels needed to participate in the higher level endgame content by May. Their goal is to provide fun content for players, even if it's at a higher level, while never making players feel pressured that they need to pay to keep up. They will continue monitoring player feedback and data and provide updates when they're able to, as they strive to remain transparent in their communication and decision making. Now, this is very important. Like I said, when Argos came out, a lot of players were not ready. They did not have the 1370 gear score in order to enter the Argos raid. So here they're saying if by May the players are not ready to take on Volton or Descualda, they may consider pushing that back a bit. And it's statements like this that really can help to heal any discontent that was created with the Argos release. So with that out of the way, let's talk about what they're planning to introduce. So we're looking at a new advanced class called the Destroyer, and I think this is a warrior class that uses a really big two-handed mace or hammer. I'm not exactly sure. I once again haven't played any other version but the NA, so I don't actually know. And then they want to implement the Trial Guardian raids. The Trial Guardian raids will add a new weekly activity for players looking for a challenge. Each week, players can attempt to defeat 3 Trial Guardians. Every Guardian has their own required item level to enter, and each week, one Guardian will rotate out, replaced by a different foe. But differing from normal Guardian raids, Trial Guardian raids will apply Scale of Harmony so that your character's item level will be adjusted appropriately to that of their enemy. Additionally, players cannot use Battle Workshop in the raid region. However, with increased challenge comes increased reward. Rewards for each challenge guardian can be obtained once per roster per week and offer more diverse rewards than normal guardian raids. Alright, so what this is saying is regardless of your item level, you cannot over gear the fight. So everyone who's able to enter the Trial Guardian raid will be set to a normalized gear score, making it fun and challenging for all players who are engaging in this activity. And also, what you come in with is what you have. You will not be able to restock potions and campfires and grenades by going back to the starting area. And this is very important because there are often times during a Guardian run where a player will run out of potions and say, oh, I have to get new potions. Then they run back to the starting area, refill, and then go back and fight some more. And then they run out of potions. They head back. And with this, you won't be able to do that. So all players will be challenged to really learn the fight and play to the best of their ability. Along with that, May will introduce even more quality of life changes that they didn't add in April, including the ability to check daily and weekly content participation in a new menu, UI updates, which is very important, we need that, improved party finder and party invites, updated loot dismantling, convenience features for the market and auction house, and a few new fun features like being able to randomly summon favored mounts, as well as new hairstyles for customization. Alright, that's all fine and dandy. I definitely believe that the UI could get some work, so it's nice that they're trying to update that. And then here's the most important part of this April and May roadmap, and this is the transparency we need. So first off, they're introducing a new Guardian raid named Descualda. Guardians are powerful entities that can tip the scales toward good or evil. A new Guardian will rise and must be vanquished before they usher in an age of darkness. Upon arrival, Descualda will be one of the most powerful guardians in Arkesia, requiring a high item level to encounter, which is 14-15. And this is very important because they're now telling us how powerful your gear score needs to be. And we have a date that it's coming out, hopefully sometime April, early April, looks like maybe April 4th. So players now have ample time to progress their gear at the speed that they need to get to 14-15. Along with that, they want to introduce a Legion raid Valtan, normal and hard. Valtan will introduce the first Legion raid into the Western version of Lost Ark. Legion raids are difficult team-based activities that require teamwork to understand and enact the strategy necessary to counter each Legion commander's unique characteristics and abilities, as well as mechanics. As Legion raids are challenging and take time, there are gates or checkpoints that will save players' progress as they advance through the raid. Valtan is an 8-player Legion raid and introduces a swath of new mechanics. Players will need to be item level 14-15, and they'll share more information on Legion raids as they approach the May update. Once again, they're telling us that in order to fight this Legion raid, players need to be 14-50 in order to attempt to enter. And once again, this transparency is very much needed so that they don't make the same mistake that they did when the Argos raid came out. Of course, remember they stated earlier that Descualda and Valtan might be pushed back if the active player base is not at an item level in order to take on these new challenges. So if there aren't enough of the active player base who are logging in daily at 14-15, then they'll reassess when they're going to introduce these raids. That's great. Once again, this is the type of stuff that the players want to hear, and it's this type of transparency that hopefully we get for future roadmaps going forward. And to wrap up this article, looking ahead, once again, there's not all the content that will release in April and May. They'll keep us updated if anything changes as they work through both of those updates and work to ensure that we, as the player base, know what is on the roadmap for coming months. They're excited to watch us progress through our journeys in Arkesia, both in vertical content as well as horizontally, as we explore all Lost Ark has to offer. They will continue to evaluate data, very importantly, evaluate data, and listen to player feedback, and share summer roadmap content after April and May. Then they finish off by thanking us for joining them, and they'll see us in Arkesia. Great roadmap, great transparency. This is exactly what we need. Hopefully, fingers crossed that they continue to release roadmaps every 2 months. Now, if you'd like to read through this article yourself, I will provide the link to the website in the description below. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, consider hitting that thumbs up, hitting that subscribe button, and ringing that bell for future notifications on videos that I might be posting in the future. And in case you're interested in supporting the channel even more, I do have a merch website at streamlabs.com/DNGdangerous/merch. And until next time, take care. Goodbye.